Hello everyone, my name is Holly Franks and I did my research proposal on volleyball coaching in Generation Z, which is the generation that is up and coming through high school and college, and that younger generation, and developing a winning mentality using positive coaching tactics versus negative coaching tactics. So as a coach, our biggest issue is figuring out how to teach athletes to win. That mentality is a very difficult thing to grasp as an athlete. So teaching that aspect is very difficult. So as a coach, we have to try and find different ways to teach these athletes how to do it, because some athletes have it, some athletes don't. So when I was looking for information regarding this subject, obviously it's not numeric types of studies, but there were a lot of research done on more of poor coaching styles that require, mental abuse, physical, not necessarily physical abuse, but having the athletes push themselves beyond the limits and just unnecessary treatment of those athletes. And there was a lot of studies done based on the output of those athletes within their sport. We also found a lot of information about what athletes see as important. So what they think is important in a coach. Because what we find is that athletes will produce when they're under the care of a coach who cares about them and who goes above and beyond for them, and when they have that emotional tie and knowing that this is a person that I want to make proud. So having all the resources that I had from all this information was very beneficial for this research proposal. So as I previously stated, a coach's main goal in coaching is to win, obviously. So finding athletes that already have that mentality is few and far between nowadays, especially with Generation Z and their lack of commitment, their being babied during their upbringing. It causes a lot of problems when they get to get into sport and get into a team atmosphere. So it's very important for us to find ways to teach them this mentality. But every coach that I've ever come across, I always ask them this question because I'm always hungry to learn about this. I ask them, how do you get your kids to win? How do you get them to want to win? And most of the time they don't have an answer for me. And so that was mainly what prompted my proposal for this project. And I think that if this study did follow through, I think it would bring to light a lot of information about coaching strategies and coaching tactics that would be beneficial to not only volleyball, but every sport. So the main question is, would positive coaching strategies or negative coaching strategies be the most beneficial in developing a winning mentality for volleyball players within Generation Z? So, by positive coaching strategies, I mean an uplifting spirit as a coach, supporting your athletes, making sure that their needs on a physical, emotional, and mental level are always met, and making sure that the coach knows the player. You have to know your players in order to give them what they need. And by negative coaching strategies, I mean coaches who are yellers, coaches who are over yelling, excuse me, I should clarify that. Unnecessarily bullying athletes, putting them down, overexertion, and even just lack of giving them the necessities that they need. So say an athlete sprains their ankle and then the coach says, well, you need to keep playing. That's not a healthy relationship to have with your athlete. And I believe that these two different types of coaching strategies really have an effect on the athletes outside of sports as well. So that's something that we also have to explore within this research. So the method that I proposed to test this theory was collect a group of 24 volleyball athletes ages 13 to 18 into 3 different groups. So that would give them the mean age of 14.9 years of age and a standard deviation of 1.48 years. So within these 3 different groups, there's going to be a neutral group where the coach just is completely normal, no drastic changes in their coaching, just a very bland coach. So no exerting of personality traits or anything like that. And then the second group would be the positive coaching strategies group. So that would be the coach who was very supportive, very positive, very in tune with their athletes. And then the third group would obviously be the negative coaching style group. So as previously stated, the coach who essentially brings down their player and all of that. So, and then by gauging how the athletes respond to these different types of groups, we would use a questionnaire structured in a degree of strongly agree and then strongly disagree. So that range between there, and then the questionnaire would be given 2 times throughout the study, once halfway through and once at the end, so we can see kind of how their attitude and their emotions change throughout the study. And then we would be tracking their performance on the court. So all their statistics, whether it be attacking, passing, serving, we would track those to see if they improve or if they decrease. And then that's a good way to tell whether the style of coaching influences the level of play on the court. So more about our proposed method. So I think, in theory, I do believe that with the questionnaire, we will get a good feeling how the athletes either slowly progress in their emotions about the coaching and their emotions about playing the sport as well. So hypothetically speaking, the positive group would have higher levels of confidence and productivity and more positive things to say about their coach and their teammates, whereas the negative group would slowly be decreasing. So we would see more hatred towards their coach, less desire to play the sport, as we can see in this picture. The image there really spoke to me, because this is what it looks like when athletes are hindered emotionally and are upset, and we don't want that in our athletes. Even if they're losing, they should be able to come in here into the locker room and say, yes, we're losing, but we're playing the best that we can and we're doing all that we can, and it's okay to be upset, but there's a time and a place for emotional abuse and all of that, all of the negative aspects of coaching. So I do believe that this study will help not only volleyball coaches, but coaches in general. This question of how to teach the desire to win and the will to win isn't just okay, let's sit down and study about winning. What is winning? It's beyond that. It's creating that relationship with your athletes and getting them to trust you and in fully investing in them so that they want to give everything that they can to you and to the program. And I do believe that the study would help every coach out there, regardless of if it's fencing to football. And I I think that this is a question that needs to be answered. So in conclusion, I do believe that the positive coaching strategies would be the most beneficial if the study was done for developing a winning mentality in female volleyball players within Generation Z. I believe that this is truly the way to get fully out of those athletes what you can. And obviously, we're teaching them how to treat other human beings as well. So I think not only do we teach them how to win off or on the court, but we also teach them how to win off the court as well. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed.